You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Friday, January 18th, 2019. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we have been talking about the theological virtue of faith. How a theological virtue is something that we are given once we grow in relationship with God Himself. How faith rests on belief, but it rests on belief in fact that is unchangeable, whether people agree with us or not. We also talked about how faith can come to us in different ways. We talked about various saints and their journeys to faith. And also we talked about how faith demands a leap of faith, meaning we aren't necessarily going to see every little detail that we believe in, and yet we believe simply because God said it is true and we believe Him. Today, we are going to talk about another important aspect of faith, and that is how faith demands action. So faith is really the first step in the Christian life. The first thing that we do as Christians is believe. We maybe have examined and searched for the truth. Maybe we had a profound moment where Jesus really came and ministered to us in a moment. We embrace that virtue of faith. We see it and know it as truth. But then what? It is not simply enough to believe. In fact, in various places in the scriptures, we are told that faith without works is dead. And now this makes sense. If we believe that something is true, if we believe that God is the ultimate truth in the universe, that He made us and loves us, and He wants us to do His work, well, then we should probably do His work. We also, once we have this beautiful truth that transforms our very lives, we should feel motivated to share that truth, to share it, to allow other people to see the beautiful truth of God. Chances are there are people in your life, your parents, your teachers, your older siblings, grandparents, people at church, lots of people that have remained faithful to God, that have the virtue of faith, and they are the ones that have helped you grow in faith and will continue to help you grow in faith throughout your life. You, therefore, need to in turn do that good work too. Now, when we have faith, we are called to do various things. The first thing that we are called to do is we are called to share this faith. This is called evangelization. We are called to be bold and to say that we believe and to be able to explain when asked why we believe and how this belief has changed our life. The next action that faith calls us to do is if we believe that God is good, if we believe that God created not only us, but created every human being on the face of the earth, if we truly believe that, then it only makes sense that we should jump into service and love. If we believe that the poor person that doesn't have enough to eat is truly loved by God, then we too need to love and serve that person. It only makes sense. In fact, it would seem crazy to think that, yes, I love God and I believe in God, but I don't love my brothers and sisters. That doesn't make any sense. If we believe that God is who He says He is, then therefore we need to love everyone in this world. And we love them by doing acts of service. We can do small things in our family, sacrificing for each other. We can also do bigger things in this world, like donating our money to organizations that help the poor, or volunteering at soup kitchens, or maybe even volunteering to help younger children at our school with their homework. These are all beautiful, small acts of love that we really are called to do once we embrace the faith. Another thing that we are called to do once we say we truly believe in God and will remain faithful to Him is we are called to respond to the words of Jesus Christ in the gospel. Jesus was very direct in what it means to believe in Him and follow Him. He told His disciples, "You need to pick up your cross and follow me." Pick up your cross and follow me. For some of His disciples, this was literal. They also lost their lives through crucifixion and martyrdom. So they needed to act like God, act like Jesus Christ, and sacrifice everything for this beautiful truth that they had received from God. Now, I pray that that is not in your future, but we also have a cross to pick up and carry and follow Jesus. Maybe that it means embracing the suffering that comes with believing. Not everyone will treat you well if you really live your life out boldly and faithfully. And that's a hard truth, but it doesn't change the truth. It doesn't change the fact that God is God and that we believe in Him and that He is the center of our lives. It also means that we need to follow Jesus' commandments and listen closely to all the teachings of the Catholic Church. Especially as you get older, you may find that the church has some difficult teachings, especially when it comes to in conflict with what the world tells us. The world oftentimes tells us that we should be able to do whatever we want, that there should be no rules and restrictions on us at all. But the church knows better. It knows what is really good for us, what is good for our souls, and what will lead us to holiness. And oftentimes, even as adults, following these teachings of the church can be hard, and it can make us look strange in the world. And that, in a way, is a cross that we are asked to pick up and carry while we follow Jesus. And so, my friends, my challenge for you today is actually the same one that we've done 2 times this week already, but it is so important. It is this simple prayer: Lord, I believe in you, increase my faith. And I ask you to say this one last time today because the world will work against your faith. The world will give you many reasons to doubt, and the world will sometimes make our faith look foolish. But we know it is truth, and we know that God might seem foolish to men, but He's not. God is the ultimate truth in the universe, and He loves us. And He needs to be the absolute center of our lives.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God intended you to be. And finally, a quick note to the grown-ups. First of all, thank you for listening to the Catholic Sprouts podcast. I ask that you please consider sharing this podcast with another Catholic family you know. Send them an email, a text, or simply mention it the next time you see them. Please join me in the mission of helping each Catholic child truly sprout into the wonderful human that God created them to be.